in 2005, Peggie Holder was the first recipient of the Alan DuPont Distinguished Teacher Award. Her legacy here at North and in the Denver Public Schools has been so strong that the Alumni Association Board chose to honor her again 13 years later. Peggie was born in the small town of Waxahachie, Texas, where she attended elementary, junior high, and high school. By 6th grade, she knew she wanted to be a teacher. Her decision was influenced by Miss Stovall, her 8th grade English teacher. After she graduated from high school, she attended North Texas State College with the help of that same teacher, Miss Stovall, who contributed to the cost of her college education. Being cotton farmers, money was at a minimum, but due to Miss Stovall, her parents, an Optimist Club scholarship, and working 3 jobs, she later graduated with a BS degree in physical education and general education. She taught and coached in Snyder, Texas for the next 3 years. At that point, she accepted a fellowship position at the University of Colorado to begin work on her master's degree in physical education and general education, plus a minor in English. In 1963, she participated in a practice interview with DPS. She was offered a position at North High School, and the rest is history. She was hooked. She knew that her 6th grade decision was accurate. She began her commitment to North High School, the North Community, and Denver Public Schools. That was her destiny. She taught and coached full-time for 35 years and took a short retirement to care for her mother. She returned part-time for another 10 years. Her next adventure was a transfer to Henry Rural School in Denver Public Schools, following Wendy Lanier, who was the principal at Henry. She left the classroom to serve as an intervention advisor and is currently holding that position. At the end of this school year, Peggie will have completed 54 years serving in DPS.
Wow.
Over her years at North and with DPS, Peggie has been honored with many awards. She was the founder of Girls Sports at North. She coached track and field with state competitors yearly and was track and field coach of the year 1982. Her girls have won volleyball league and district championships, and again, she was named volleyball coach of the year for several years. In 1992 and 93, she won various teacher appreciation awards. One was for contributions as a member of the Design Advisory Committee for North, another the Philip Galvin Norak Viking Teacher Recognition Award for dedication to excellence in education, and she was honored with a certificate of appreciation from Student Council and a certificate from her peers for expertise in teaching excellence and guidance through the halls of wisdom. Peggie received a certificate of appreciation from the Denver Service Unit during American Education Week in 1994. And in 1996, she was presented with the DPS Coach and Teacher Hall of Fame Award. Metro State College presented her with a certificate from the Secondary Education Student Advisory Board for contributions made to the Department of Teachers of Tomorrow. 1997 brought her the North High School Coaches Hall of Fame Award, and in 1998, the DPS Board of Education presented her with a certificate of appreciation for contributions toward teaching. In 1999, she was interviewed and followed around for a while by Robin Chatsanoff, a local writer who featured Peggie in Chapter 3 of her book, People Who Sweat. 2 years ago, Peggie received the Knight of Honor Leadership Lamp Award. Her interests are varied. She enjoys attending a variety of events, of both present and past students. She enjoys fishing, gardening, riding her 250 Kimco scooter, going on hot air balloon rides, swimming with the dolphins, and visiting her siblings in Texas. She's also looking forward to jumping out of a perfectly good airplane this summer. You're a braver lady than I.
Okay.
Okay, congratulations. Peggy was also my PE teacher.
That kind of made me tired. Before I say anything else, if you were my student, if you were my athlete, I'd like to honor. Oh, well, I'm just not used to these things. If you were my student, if you were my athlete, Spartans of sports, track, volleyball, in my fitness classes, would you please stand up? I'd like to honor you. Thank you, because you're why I'm here. I'm honored, I'm humbled, I'm excited, because I get to talk about some of you, some that were here before you, and then some of them way before you. And I wanted to thank Daniel, I don't know where he is, and Isaac Solano, for the nominations for this. So, but they're not here, so I can't do that right now. I'm kind of a hoarder. And speaking of Isaac, in 2009, I don't know why I keep these things, but in 2009 in the North Star, he listed 120 teachers and adults in this building that had made a difference in his life. I'm not going to read all 120 of those, so we're okay. I did want to talk about a few of them that some of you may know. They may have been your teachers. Were you here in 2009? Anybody? 2009? There I see a few hands. I see one hand. Kathleen Quebec. He talked about her. And she's retired. You're going to hear that word retired a lot in the next few minutes. He recognized her for teaching him to love history. If you knew her, you know, she had wonderful classes. Vic Verdille. He was here with Missy Verdille. He recognized Vic for teaching him how to respect, and he had a lot of respect for Vic Verdille. Missy Underwood. Talked to her today, as a matter of fact. Retired. Vic's retired. He recognized Missy for being a student advocate, and if you knew Missy Underwood, you know she certainly was. Angie Vasquez was a clerk here, always willing to do whatever was asked, copy this, copy that, and it was like, can you do this in the next hour? And she did. Miss Apodaca, I don't know if any of you know her, but she was always encouraging him, and that's how he recognized her. Workmeister, I don't know if any of you knew Rhonda, I think her name was Rhonda Workmeister. Nancy Workmaster, thank you. And he recognized her for making him work hard. They didn't always get along, he said, but wanted her to vote for him when he became a nominee for the mayor of Denver. And he may do that. Yes. Miss West, he said Miss West taught him that there was love in books. And I was hoping she'd be here today. There were a couple of others. He mentioned you because you were always enthusiastic and always wanted to say hello to him and was always very pleasant with him. So he wanted to say that to you. I don't know if you still have this paper or not, but it's a little yellow and it's a little crisp, but it's there. Okay, the 55 years that I've been working for DPS has given me a lot of experience, a lot of challenges, and a lot of fun, and a lot of memories. I still socialize, keep in contact with several of my former students. That's something that I cherish, and that's something that I'm proud of. I don't know if any of you went to the 67 reunion. Anybody here go to the 67 reunion? Do you remember who your entertainer was? Bobby Bell. Bobby Bell graduated in 1967. She was there with her cousin, and her little thing that she had over her table said Bobby Bell. That's her stage name. When she was here, her name was Patty Belknap. Not many of you knew Patty because she was kind of a loner. She would come into my office down in the gym every day with her little 50-cent guitar and play Eyes of Blue. The only song she knew, over and over and over and over. A fellow teacher of mine said, "What in the world are you doing?" I said, "Don't you have anything else to do but listen to this every day?" I said, "Yeah, I do, but she doesn't." And so it's like, give her the encouragement that she needs. She didn't get a whole lot anyplace else. I followed her for a while. She graduated. She was self-taught. She played at the Zanzibar. She had a full band behind her. Then I lost track of her. She went to Las Vegas. She got an agent. She went to Las Vegas. She was playing in some of the hotels, you know, the smaller hotels. Then I got something through the mail. I received a big album jacket with a record in it, with her picture on the front of it, and it was called Misty. And that was her first album. She also sent the other teacher one that kind of told Bobby the same thing she said to me, you know, "Don't you, just go home, you know, just go home." And I, "No, she can stay." She sent her one too. Little different message on hers than what was on mine. So this teacher felt so badly about how she had talked to her, she joined me and 2 other people to sponsor Bobby's first CD. Now she has about 10 or 15 of them out there, and she is still performing. Friday the 13th, I went to see her perform, and we had dinner. So, I mean, she's 70-something years old probably, but she's still performing. So that was a success story for one of your North High kids. Donna Rafdahl. Anybody remember Donna Rafdahl? Oh, you do. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Sparks and Sports, right? Donna and her husband are in New Hampshire. We communicate every Christmas with Christmas cards and CDs, back and forth. Her husband is a musician. Eric Larson. Remember Eric Larson? Yep. Eric Larson, Chris Larson, Liz Ripson, Salvucci, my friend Alicia right over there. All part of that volleyball group. There are others out here too. Debbie Breen. I don't know if you remember her or not. She's living in a beautiful home up in the mountains. We communicate all the time. Sam Preen. Sam Preen was on the track team. I have this piece of paper, and I also have a track shoe that he gave me the night of the awards banquet for track. So I still have that track shoe. Arlene Manzanares. She works at Justice with Gary Losh. Well, Gary retired. Most of these people I've talked to you about have retired. Vectorelli, they were here. She's a PO now. One of them's a PO. And since I work with disciplined kids, we communicate. John Perez, he was a wrestler here, a very good wrestler. He's a PO. I work with him through Henry. Frank Trujillo, don't know if you remember him or not, but he was the uplift guy here. And he's still doing that, but he's doing it in Aurora. The Larson family, Chris and Steve, and still in contact with them. John Tricarco. Anybody know John Tricarco? John was a student here. He was always a little upset with me because to get an A in the badminton unit, they had to beat me. They didn't beat me very often, and he didn't. And he got a C in that unit, the badminton unit. Now, the bad part about that is that when I went to Henry with Wendy Lanier, he was there. And he was the assistant principal. And he was my boss. Yeah, that was a problem. And he also did my evaluation. Now, of the 55 years, you know, the rating scale for I don't know how many years has been, you know, 1 to 5. I have all 5s except 1 4 from John Tricarco. So I went into his office and I said, John, we need to talk. I said, you either really think this is a 4 or you're getting back at me for that badminton grade. And he said, well, we'll talk about that. It was changed to a 5. So I think it was that badminton grade. Tom Peralt. I don't know. Do you remember the streakers at the National Guard? John Peralt was the leader of the pack. Were you there too? Were you?
I got a question. Did you cut the fence? Or did you drive?
I may still have a little brown bag in my office down there with all these nuts and bolts in it, because it was really funny. You know, Bob Mariamo was right beside me. You know, he's the guy that always took the pictures, the assistant principal. My job was to kind of bump him when Tom and his partners ran through that area. So Bob said, they'll never get through. Look at that fence. They're never gonna, we've got them now. They hit that fence and it just went like this. And away they went. And the pickup car was over here on 32nd. I think those nuts and bolts are still in my desk. In fact, I know they are. Walter Keller. Do you remember Walter Keller? I understand he has a big old fro now, and he's in California, and he's acting. But I was privileged to see his first acting gig, because he tried to convince Lino Gonzalez, who was the principal, and his adopted father, that he did not let 4 wild chickens go at the assembly. But he did, because we had a video. So that was his first acting gig, was trying to teach his principal and his father. I didn't do that, but he did. So he acted that day, I can tell you that for sure. T.J. Cole. He is in Boulder, and he's a juvenile district judge. So he's doing very well. And I have a lot of students, former students, when they come to back to school night at Henry, where their kids and their grandkids, they're looking at me and they say, don't I know you from somewhere? I said, well, I don't know. I've been around for a while. And they look at my name tag and they say, oh, we knew a Peggie Holder, but that's not you because she's surely retired by now. I said, nope, there's only one of me, and you're looking at her. Grandparents, thank you very much. You know, they're all over the place. And thank God. Because what a memory that I have with working with all these kids and their families. So it's been the joy of my life. My dad told me years ago, if you find something you have a passion about and you love it, you will never work a day in your life. And that has certainly come true. Because I don't get up in the morning and say, oh, I've got to go to work today. I get up and I say, I wonder who I'm going to work with today. I wonder what Kenny's, if he's going to come in high or not. Or I wonder if Khrushchev is going to tell me where he hid his stuff. And that happened yesterday, and he did tell me. So, you know, it's just been a wonderful ride. Thank you for being here. I'm honored. And I want to leave you with just something that I live by. This is a new day. I've been given this day to do as I will. I can waste it or use it for good. What I do today is very important because I am trading a day of my life for this day. When tomorrow comes, this day is going to be gone forever, leaving behind something I've traded for it. I want it to be a gain, not a loss. I want it to be good, not evil. I want it to be success, not failure. In order that, I should never forget the price I paid for it. Thank you. At the end, when we're dismissed, I would like to meet with my former students and athletes right over there so I can get a picture to take back to Henry to brag.